man shows up wanting to help us rebuild our church for nothing more than a place to sleep at night.
I don't trust him. It's just you don't know anything about him.
I'm not gonna turn a man in need away. I don't care what's behind you, as long as you don't bring it with you. You understand?
I understand. Well, howdy do, buckaroos. I'm Joe Layton from Cowboys and Indians magazine, and I am pleased as punch to be talking today with Casper Van Dien, who some of you may remember for his battling giant insects in Starship Troopers and many other films. But this one finds you on the side of the angels, kind of, sort of, right?
Yeah, he's a good character. He's a character looking for redemption for the things that he's done wrong. So I'm a huge Western fan. My favorite thing. So it's a thrill for me to be doing this for Cowboys and Indians because I'm a huge Western fan. It's my number one genre, my number one film. I watch a Western almost every day of my life. I have. I just love them. Searchers is my favorite movie. I also, I just go. I love Shane. I love. I love so many westerns. The Cowboys. I love Unforgiven. I love Silverado. I love Glenn Forden of films. I love I just love going back and Audrey Murphy. I love all these westerns. And so for me, reading the script, I went, oh my God, this is like a classic western. This is exactly what westerns were and are to me, and why I watch them. It's got all the bells and whistles for that. And then I go, well, then we started making it, and I went, oh my God, this is just like that. So I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited to see it. It is exactly the kind of movie I would want to watch from the script and from making it, from my experience of making it.
Now, this isn't your first rodeo. You've been in the saddle before.
Yeah.
And you look like you're kind of comfortable there. Is that the result of long hours of training with a veteran horseman, or do you just come by it naturally?
Well, I did ride horses a little bit, but then Robert Mitchum gave me my first horse at 22. He called me up and he said, "Casper, I got a horse for you." I was dating his granddaughter at the time, and he called me up and he said, "Hey, I got a horse. She's really fast out of the gate. She's a racehorse, but as soon as a butterfly comes, she chases it." So, I trained her for riding saddle, and I really learned how to ride there. That's right. So I owe it all to Robert Mitchum. It's why I can ride horses. And I did all my own horse stunts in Sleepy Hollow, and then I did them all in this film. And I got to ride with Wilder Smith, who's Foray Smith's son, and he
Hmm.
played him in Tombstone. He played in Yellowstone. He played the younger him. So,
Hmm.
and he did a great job. And he was in this. He's one of the bad guys in this, but he's also an incredible horse person. So they're like real horse people. I
Hmm.
am really good on a horse. I do really know how to ride a horse because I owned it and I broke it myself. But that's all because I had ridden horses before that, but really learned how to ride because Bob Mitchum gave me a horse. So that's how I learned how to ride.
Well, it's an old joke, but it's true that, uh, from the beginning of Westerns all the way back to, the Great Train Robbery. I mean, you can see actors who really look like they're uncomfortable on a horse. And it's probably because they told the casting director, "Oh, I was born on a horse. I can ride anywhere." And, like I say, you look at the first silent movie Western, Great Train Robbery. There's a scene where an outlaw is supposed to get on a horse with the rest of his gang, and you can see him, and it's almost like the thought balloon forms over his head. For the love of God, someone please get me a step ladder.
Well, I did a film called Aces and Eights, and Ernest Borgnine was in that film, which was
Yeah.
such a thrill for me. But he goes, it was a month away from his 90th birthday, and he goes, hey, get me a ladder. I go, you're not gonna get up on the horse. He goes, how do you think the Duke did it at the end of the year, at the end of his life? I go, yeah, but he was in his 70s. You're almost 90. He got up on a horse. He still got up on the horse, and I was like, yes. I was so proud because Wild Bunch and Ernest freaking Borgnine, Marty, and oh my God, all this. I loved him. I love he's such a great actor. But I even told him, I brought my daughter, Grace Van Dien, who's an actress now and became a Western. I said, "Hey, Ernie," I said, "Mr. Borgnine, sir." He goes, "Call me Ernie, call me Ernie." "Yes, sir, Mr. Borgnine, sir." "Ernie, Mr. Borgnine, sir." I go, this is this is Robert Mitchum's great granddaughter. He goes, "You're Bob's kid? Hey, Jack, who's the horse trainer, get me a horse. I'm not going to saddle, I'll just lead her." And I watched him pick her up, and they called me to set. It's the first time I didn't want to go on set. I watched Ernest Borgnine pick my daughter up, 11 years old. She's 28 now. That's how long ago this was.
Oh,
And
wow.
he goes, "Let me tell you about your grandpa Bob." And he walked off. And she said to me later, she said, "Thanks for the greatest day of my life, Dad." And I was like, oh my God, I wanted to be there. I didn't want to be on set. It's the first time I didn't want to be on set. I wanted to hear what he was saying to her, you know?
Oh
So,
man. Oh
yeah.
man. Now, we mentioned Starship Troopers, but what else do you find yourself recognized on the street for? I mean, like you're in line at the supermarket or you're on a plane or something. Say, man, I really loved you in.
Well, usually it's Starship Troopers, but sometimes it'll be a Lifetime movie for the women, or it'll be a soap opera. Sometimes it's Tarzan. For the Tarzan fans are pretty fanatical, and I was the 20th Tarzan. So, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's Sleepy Hollow. They're like, "Gee, I just love Sleepy Hollow." So those will be the main ones I get. And also sometimes Mortal Kombat. I did this Mortal Kombat Legacy season 2 and 3, but I was Johnny Cage in that, and people come up and do like that. So I get those, but there's just random different ones that they come up for. I'm hoping one of these days it's like Guns of Redemption, because this is a movie that, like I said, these are the kind of movies I watch one every day. I watch a Western. My wife goes, "I can't believe you're watching that movie again," because I just love Westerns. I think that they were the backbone of our whole industry, because during the Great Depression for 3 years the only thing that kept them alive was the nickel and dime Westerns, the movies. That's what kept Hollywood alive. It was going to go belly up, but because
Mhm.
people, even in the Depression, they need some good storytelling, and that's what Westerns are. Star Wars is just a Western in space. Starship Troopers is just a Western in space.
Yes.
It's still a Western. That's why I love this. That's why I love this genre. And this film, reading the script, I was like, oh my God, if they do this right. And while I'm filming, I'm like, oh my God, it feels like we're doing it right. If they do it right, it feels like this could be like one of those Westerns where I would want to watch it again. And that's to have that kind of feelings, you're lucky when you have that. I mean, you must interview a lot of people that love Westerns, because that's just my favorite, literally what I get excited about, what my passion is. And to be in one that you really really love. I mean, I've been in a couple and I've liked them, and I've enjoyed being in. I love doing the horse thing, but this one, I was just like, this could be something. I haven't seen it yet, so you've seen
Mhm.
it. I haven't seen it, but I'm
You're pretty
excited.
doggone good. Put your
Oh,
mind at ease,
oh
okay?
yeah, Joe. Oh, thank you, Joe. I can't wait. I can't wait I love it. This is everything I ever wanted. And it's just is Westerns. It's all I literally watch them all the time. So,
Do you find it's an actor, though, and talking about Gene Hackman, I was going
yeah,
back and reading
wow.
an interview I did with him a few years, actually for Unforgiven. And he said, there was a time in his life where, he took just about any role that came along. And, he was, a working actor. But he said that he got to a point where he was really kind of concerned about being typecast. Now, if any actor you can think of could worry about being typecast, I mean, Gene Hackman played everything. But do you ever worry about? I mean, you've made some faith-based movies, some very well done faith-based movies. I mean, so is Faye Dunaway and a lot of other people. But did you have any hesitation about, okay, I like this script, I liked it, but I don't know if I want to be typed as a faith-based movie actor.
Um, I don't think I love being an actor, and I love being on set, and I'm not, I'm not in the Gene Hackman category, so I don't have that great fear or anything like that. I'm a working actor, and I've been really lucky and very fortunate to be able to work as I do, but I don't know if I've had the opportunity that he has had. I can't even dream of putting myself in a category like him. I mean, what a phenomenal actor he is. I love him, and I think he's incredible. But I haven't had that fear of being typecast. I love, like Starship Troopers. Somebody yells at me almost every day a quote from that movie. So I'm lucky. I have one film that I really people relate to me, and they go, "Oh my God, I love that movie. I joined the military for that." The last movie I saw with my dad. So many different stories they say about it. but I get it almost on a daily basis. And you know, people yell a quote at me like "kill them all," which is not a normal thing for people to yell at you, but it has been
No.
normal. But it's been normal in my life, and my kids have heard that all their life growing up. Now they're adults, but that was their experience of dad out in the wild. You know, so I don't know. You know, I played James Dean, I played Tarzan, I played, you know, I don't think I've ever felt like I'm being typecast. I think in the beginning, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get anything else because they're like, well, you can only play a surfer or a lifeguard. And that was because the first roles I got were a surfer and a lifeguard. So that was a limited agent, you know, didn't think. I'm like, I know how to ride horses. I went to a military school. You know, I'm real. I'm a human being. You know, you get life experiences, you get more evolved as a human being and hopefully as an actor then as well. And I think I can bring more to the table than I could when I was younger. I
Mhm.
know I can, and that's just because of life experiences. But I don't feel like I'm threatened in getting typecast in anything yet. So faith-based is great. This one has a great story, faith-based story. You know, it's a great redemption.
Yes, yes.
And you know, I was nervous because I suggested that I use the Bible like I did in that. And I thought I could get in a lot of shit for that. Excuse my French, but I mean, I
Yeah.
could get in a lot of because you don't use that, you know. I literally beat the word of God into somebody and then I get shot for that. So that part was the redemption for that and that. But I mean, he's trying to you know, trying to be a better man, and he follows a man. Sean Astin does a great job in being that preacher, but he is that kind of man that works and fights for people. But when he breaks out the gun, you go, wait a minute, he also has overcome some stuff too. And I
Hmm.
love movies where you overcome. You're not just a perfect person where you're only one thing. You know, you have to have had. I like people that might not have been the best quality people, and that they can step up and become better because those are people I can relate to more. I can't relate to being all perfect and whole and high and mighty. I'm just not that. I'm not that person, and I wouldn't trust that person personally because I'm not that person. I need to have something where I can try to be a better man than I was when I was younger, when I was so full of testosterone and I made stupid choices and stupid mistakes. And now I've got to try to make amends for them. And this character really has to do that. And I love that about him. I thought it was just so well written and I thought his arc was incredible. And then he kept even getting punished for his arc. Even he kept getting shot, even trying to do the right thing, you know?
What was the most difficult scene in this movie for you? I mean, what was the one that, you looked at the call list for the next day and you went, "Oh, we're doing that tomorrow."
Uh, they bleeding out on the table. Bleeding out on the table. That was the hardest one. For because then it's all like, you know, they're sticky and blood and people are sticking things in you and you're like having to deal with the other actors. You have to lay there and yeah, and like, we want to be real as authentic as you can in that too. So that's probably the one that I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous because I've been on an operating room table before, but it's because they had to, you know, stitch me up and stuff like that from fights and stuff. But I haven't been you know, I don't know like being shot. So I don't know from that level. So I couldn't relate to that in that way, but I tried to be as authentic as I could with that too. And you know,
Well, you rose to that challenge quite impressively. Let's put it that way.
thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Well,
And
I,
that's
I
what
have
the
to say, you were a much nicer person than you were in the warrant here.
you
So
know, the warrant was a fun one to do too. That was I loved playing the Saint in the warrant. That was a lot of fun too. But he was a nasty guy. But he lost his son in that, you know. So
yeah.
that scene where I had the son and everything like that, that was a very dramatic and hard scene to shoot too, and working with them. But that was a fun movie too. I liked the warrant.
Well, thanks again for your time. Continued good fortune to you, sir.
Hey Joe, thank you so much, and I appreciate it, man. And I really love the. I used to I used to read the Cowboys and Indian magazine. Is it just online now, or is it still
No, no,
in
it's
person?
still at fine newsstands everywhere,
Ah,
but
wow.
this will be online to
It,
promote the movie.
will be online to promote the movie. I should have done something for them. We should have done something with them on one of their magazines. I would like that someday. Someday I'll have to do that. That's another goal of mine.
There you go. There you
All
go.
right. Thanks,
Thanks a
Joe.
lot.
Thanks, Joe.
I believe you're hiding a couple prisoners that belong to me. Pack it up, boys. I've had enough of this town.
are you still alive?
I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna slow him down.
What the hell kind of a man comes back from the dead to save a couple worthless whores?
My guardian angel.
I'm no angel.
You the preacher?
You looking to get baptized?
There's nothing in this church that belongs to you other than the sin you brought in.